I'm Shelly Palmer from New York.
I'm Ross Martin from snowy Maine.
And you're listening to Think About This.
Today we're winding down the year.
With a review of the good, the bad, and the ugly in tech gifts from the last decades.
And then Shelly's going to edit the dictionary.
And Ross is going to investigate some very sleepy drivers.
So, welcome to Think About This.
The more you listen,
the less you know.
Who goes there?
All right, so Shelly, the good, the bad, and the ugly of technology gifts. There's no one I know better at this than you. So we're in gift-giving season. We're getting gifts. We're giving gifts. We're inundated with ads for the latest technology.
Yep.
Over the years, there have been some great gift ideas, and there have been some not-so-great ones.
Sure.
So let's take a trip down memory lane.
Mm-hmm.
Good gifts from the 1970s to the 80s. Go.
Oh, that's easy. Polaroid cameras in the 70s, they were all the rage. They were the selfies of their day. Nobody did anything without taking a Polaroid because that's how you knew it was happening. And of course, there were some, let's just say, general uses for the Polaroid camera. And then there were some, let's say, less than general uses for the Polaroid camera. But then right afterwards, great gifts were point and shoot cameras because as you got, Polaroids were cool. But when you really wanted to get serious, what was great is all you do is hold up the camera, press a button, and you actually got a picture. If you remember all those little instant development places that are no longer in business, those were the days.
But don't you think it's cool that the original Instagram logo was kind of a Polaroid camera?
Yeah, no,
cool.
that was totally cool. Then 1982, Pac-Man for Atari.
Oh yeah.
Now, here's a little known fact. I did the sound modules for the Atari Miss Pac-Man, Pole Position, and Crystal Castle. Those are game sounds I programmed back in the day.
Pause. We're going to play that right now. Go. Love it.
So, yeah, it was super fun because they were all arcade games. Right. And then Atari came out. They wanted to do the home consoles and they wanted you to have the same experience at home. But the technology that they could put from a size perspective in a game that was in an arcade was giant.
Yeah, couldn't get it that small.
Get this. We had 8K, not 8 meg, not 8 gig, 8,000 bytes for the entire video and 8,000 bytes for all the audio. That was it. 8K was the entire storage in the cartridge. So it took all kinds of crazy to make those sounds feel like the arcade game. It was one of the hardest programming sound. Yeah, it was so much fun. So back in the day, yeah, Atari, and that was an incredibly good gift. Everybody loved it. And of course, by the late 80s, Game Boy was all the rage. My kids loved their Game Boys. And yeah, that was super fun. Those were great. And then of course, the gift of the mid 90s were PDAs and Palm Pilots. Everybody had a Palm Pilot for about 2 years.
It was the coolest thing.
It was the coolest thing. Then of course, Blackberries changed the world. But, you know, it was cool to have a Palm Pilot when it was cool.
Let's totally switch gears. Bad gifts.
I'm the official sentry of the island of misfit toys.
Oh, bad gifts from the past.
That's so easy. In the mid-'80s, there was what I think the worst gift ever.
There were a lot of bad gifts in the 80s.
There were, but the worst one was the music vest.
Yeah.
This was a vest with speakers in it. It was
so awkward.
It was terrifying. It was, instead of carrying the boombox on your shoulder, which was what you did in the 80s, or bringing your boombox with you, they made a vest with speakers in it. Probably the worst.
Can I tell you something? You're not
ever.
going to believe me, but I often sit with Theo on our stoop in Brooklyn and just chill out there and watch people go by. A dude rode by on his bike last weekend with one of these on, like he was wearing one of these vests, and he was blasting the music. I kept looking. He was going real slow.
That's crazy.
He was driving down on his bike. He was like on like a Huffy, and he's driving down slow down my block, like just chilling. And I'm like, I don't see the
wearing
boombox.
Speakers.
He was wearing the speakers on his vest. He had a speaker vest, a music vest from the 1980s.
So I gotta say, you being a hipster from Brooklyn does have its perks.
I think it makes it cool again.
I'm sad you didn't get a video, but no, that is awesome. Okay.
Floby. I gotta do it. In the 80s, when I was in school, I was in like high school, I had a bad haircut. And people made fun of it because they said, what do you use, a Flowbee? But I think people now have no idea what
You
that was.
remember the Wayne's World episode where they spoofed it? It was awesome. Yeah.
People don't remember what a Flowbee was.
A Flowbee, for those of you who are too young to remember, was a vacuum cleaner that had teeth. And basically you ran it over your head and it cut your hair and it took all the little hair cuttings away.
Yes.
It was great for dogs, by the way.
I didn't need to get a haircut.
They used it for people.
Yeah, but you didn't need to get a haircut if you had a Flowbee. And by the way, to all those assholes who made fun of me for my haircut in high school, look at me now.
That's right.
I got a podcast, bitches. All right? Here are the debatable ones.
Okay.
Like, you could argue this was a good one, or you could argue this was a dumb one. Digital photo frames.
They never caught on the way they should. I think they're a great idea that, like, there's one on my piano. You know that.
We were at Carolyn Everson's house this week in New Jersey. She's got them all over the place.
Yeah.
I have them in my house.
And then the TV set, the Samsung sets will, and of course anybody with an Apple TV,
rotate,
you just rotate the stuff. So I mean, I think the idea of a digital photo frame is awesome, and sometimes they're great. I just don't know that it ever caught on as a mainstream gift. So yeah, that goes in the debatable category for sure.
Okay, how about the Tamagotchi virtual pet?
Yeah,
from 1997.
First of all my kids had them. I thought it was super awesome and great. What a fad. I don't know if that's debatable as a great gift or a bad gift. I think during the 1997 holiday season, it was the gift. It wasn't like a debatable gift back then. And now I don't think it matters at all.
I would personally like to hear from anyone whose virtual pet is still alive. If your virtual pet is still alive, text us.
You remember this?
DM us.
You remember the Tamagotchi game was you had to keep it alive. You had to feed it, give it whatever it needed for sustenance, and shelter it and let it rest. And if not, it died. It was the weirdest thing. It's like, keep this alive. It was like a...
That's so stupid. I have a freaking plant. I can't even keep that alive. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the great one that we all made fun of. But I think it actually probably saved lives in some ways. And also, maybe it didn't save lives. Did it save lives?
I don't know.
Well, it definitely was the first Alexa.
Sound on, sound off, the clapper.
I think the clapper was the first consumer smart home application.
Yeah, I think you're right. Look, I love the idea of it. And now you're voice activating it. You're not clapping, because I think if Alexa responded to clapping, you'd lose your mind. But yeah, they were right there. It was a great gift then. My mom had one, and it was just the visual I cannot get out of my head was every time she walked in the room, she'd clap her hands, and when it didn't work, she'd keep clapping, and I just thought, this is really funny.
Okay, the speed round bonus, one word association. I say the gift, you give us one word in response.
You got it.
The transistor radio.
World changing.
Battery operated 45 RPM turntable.
Forgettable.
I have one. Sony Walkman.
Life changing.
Totally. Sony Discman.
Super life changing.
Sony Mini Disc.
Nobody bought them.
Oh, Microsoft Zune.
Nobody ever even thought about buying one.
You know, there's a rumor that there are 1 million of them buried in the desert somewhere.
I believe that, actually. And yes, and that's where they belong.
I don't know if that's true, but I really want to know. If you know, please text us. Apple iPod.
World changing.
And last but not least, smartphone.
Planetarily world change. Like, I don't even know. There's not a superlative you can add to smartphone.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the best, worst, and most debatable gifts of the last few decades.
My name is...
Don't tell me, Jack.
No, Charlie. That's why I'm a misfit toy. No child wants to play with a Charlie in the box, so I had to come here.
So, Ross, I have a list of words that drive me crazy.
How did I know?
Well, we go to a lot of business meetings, you and I.
Yes.
You take at least as many as I do, maybe more than I do. And, you know, there are some phrases in business today that just should be banned, or at least cost you $20 every time you say them.
Well, as long as they're dimensionalized and actionable.
I'm going to kill you.
Oh.
I'm going to kill you.
Okay, so what are some of the words?
We hacked it.
Yeah,
no,
everybody says
no.
that.
Just say you figured it out, unless, of course, you're under investigation by the FBI or the NSA, in which case you could probably say, you know, you hacked it. Other than that, you just figured it out.
Okay, give us another one. Paradigm shift. What about that one?
Kill me now. Do you mean that there's a new archetype or an outstandingly clear example of a shift from an original pattern or model of all things of the same type?
Yeah, it's
and
paradigm
represented?
shift, Shelly.
No, just say something new. Something new. Not a paradigm shift, something new.
I think this whole list is a game changer. Can't use that.
You You know, a game changer, if you must, is a person or a thing that dramatically changes the core strategy or character of something. So if the person dramatically changed the business, then maybe it's a game changer. But I have some suggestions. Try significant, non-trivial, interesting, impactful, meaningful, or anything else. Let's not gamify.
I think I come upon probably 10 game-changing moments every day. So maybe you're right. Okay. I think what you're saying is we have to disrupt ourselves.
$20, $20. Ding, ding, ding. Right now, $20. No, you can say innovation, transformation, or just simply change. We're not disrupting ourselves. These are all wonderful. Try the more accurate phrase, Ross. Adapt or die.
When I look at the traffic to our podcast, right? When I look at the traffic to our podcast, it's a hockey stick.
Now, what everyone at home didn't see is the thing that drives me crazier than Ross saying hockey stick. He drew the damn hockey stick in the air.
I drew it in the air.
Oh my God, we're living in exponential times. It's the age of exponentiation. So no, it's not a hockey stick. We passed the stick part years ago. We're on the hockey little...
Okay, I think you're saying that we have to think out of the box.
No, we never have to think out of it. That's another $20 right now. We have, in fact, escaped our Luddite boundaries, and we have evolved our thinking past the rectangular indications on the org chart. Does that sound stupid? Of course it sounds stupid, but nowhere near as stupid as out of the box.
We've evolved our thinking so that we could monetize.
No, we can't. Another $20. In fact, I want $50 monetized. I want a $5 premium every time you say the word monetize. Let me give you some ways you might get around it.
Why don't you ideate some?
No, dumb, not idea. No, here it is. You can make money, make bank, bring home the bacon, cake up, chase paper, hustle, rake it in, stock papers. I don't care what you do, but if you say monetize me one more time, I'm going to stab you to death with this pen.
Learnings.
No, just stop.
Learnings.
Ross. No, just stop.
Shelly.
I learned, we learned, he, she, it learned. It's the easiest verb to conjugate in the damned English language. Oh, and by the way, you should absolutely stop using efforting also.
Oh. Shelly Palmer, total rock star.
Let me be very clear, Ross. There are no rock stars in any profession other than rock music. Rap stars don't call themselves rock stars. Neither do EDM stars or country stars or soul stars or R&B stars or jazz stars. Not even folk stars call themselves rock stars. So why on earth would any human being who doesn't play rock for a living think it's okay to call someone in business a rock star? Let me tell you when you're a rock star, Ross. You ready?
Ready.
When you, Ross Martin, can jump across the stage and land on your knees while playing a B-flat 7 sharp 9 chord, screaming the lyrics at the top of your lungs on key with pyrotechnics exploding everywhere around you in front of roughly 20,000 people who are adoring fans of yours, then you're a rock star, Ross. To me, that would make you a rock star. If you're kind of great at buying media or human resources...
You're not a rock star?
Maybe not. Maybe not so much.
It doesn't sound so scalable to me. I have an idea of how to scale this segment. So you've just banned these words.
Yes.
You've canceled them.
They need to be canceled.
Okay.
They need to be banned from every business meeting ever.
Before they are officially retired, I just want to go outside and ask people what they think these words mean.
Game change means reorganizing a plan, having a new product, something that absolutely changes your business's future.
Ideate means to come up with new ideas and create something new.
Hacked means that you broke into something.
Learnings means the new things that you learn.
Think outside the box means to think uniquely and
Scalable means when you can rate something from best to worst.
Rock star? What I think a word rock star means? A famous musician?
Disrupt is one of these terribly overused words that means like to mess with your life.
Paradigm shift. This could be a movement from one thing to the other, or it could be talking about that based on bullshit. Yeah. So, think about that.
I'm here with Karen Chupka, who is the Executive Vice President of CES, which used to be the Consumer Electronics Show, but now it's just CES. It's put on by the Consumer Technology Association. And Karen, correct me if I'm wrong, CES is the largest trade show in the United States?
Yes, Shelly, actually that's true. We're actually the largest annual trade show in the United States. We're over 2.9 million net square feet of exhibit space, which doesn't always mean a lot to the average person.
The show is gigantic. There's just no other way to describe it. It's also coming up real soon. So what's going to be great at CES this year?
You know, we have a lot of great categories this year. And I should start by saying that we have about 170,000 attendees that come to the show. And over 1/3 of those come from outside the United States. So it is one of the unique opportunities to see kind of how technology is not only influencing people in the United States, but from around the world. There's a couple key categories that we're seeing year-over-year growth in. Health and wellness, we have pretty tremendous growth in that category. And that's because there's just so much more technology that's coming out that helps both consumers and patients and even medical professionals help monitor what's happening. And we think that this is an area that's going to help lower costs in the future, as well as give consumers more control over their own health in the future. One of the things that we do at CES, and we started this at CES 2019, is we actually have a one-day track of sessions that doctors can come to and earn certified medical education credits to learn how to prescribe technology. So that's kind of cool and different.
Prescribing technology. I just like the sound of that.
Right? It also kind of dovetails into another area that's growing for us, and that's smart cities. And so, it's kind of interesting because you think about healthcare and doctors and hospital systems through the smart cities area, which is connected transportation systems and energy management systems, and then obviously first responders, which kind of ties back into that whole hospital system. So it's really interesting to see kind of where some of the growth is coming in some of these areas that you wouldn't have necessarily expected to see at CES.
So, Karen, what don't people know about CES that you want them to know?
Boy, there's so many things, and I can go on and on and on. One of the areas that I think you're very familiar with and have been a big part of is really one of our fast-growing bases as well, which is the C-Space area. C-Space is where we have advertising, marketing, branding folks, as well as content and entertainment. Streaming, most advertising agencies, some of the bigger brands, people like Turner, NBC, Universal, Hulu are there, iHeartMedia. And that's really an interesting space because it's looking at kind of what some of the new digital platforms are going to be for the upcoming year. And we have always a great group of speakers that participate in that programming.
I did want everyone to get a chance to hear from you directly, Karen, because what you guys have done is truly unbelievable. CES gets better and bigger every single year, and that is a tremendous testament to you and to Gary Shapiro and the entire team at CTA. It is really something to behold. Of course, everyone who knows me knows that CES is my favorite show. And also, Karen, everyone knows it's all your fault.
Well, thanks. So you know what's exciting, Shelly, is in 2021, we're going to get that brand new building at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and we're going to be able to do some different things that we haven't been able to do in the past. So we're really excited about that as well.
I understand we're also getting the Boring Company. Chris Meyer was a guest on our show, and he said that they're boring a tunnel under Paradise, and it's going to go the length of the convention center. Any more information about that?
Yeah, it's actually started. They started it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the drill itself now is all the way in, so it's going a little bit faster. It's about a 2-mile tunnel that they're digging, and
wow.
Yeah, and it'll be done by potentially November of 2020. So it's already underway and in process.
So we may be taking some Teslas from South Hall to, what's the new building going to be called?
It's called West Hall, believe it or not, which is very funny because I'm sure you were in the old Comdex days as well as the old CS days where there actually was a West Hall, and it was not anything like this West Hall.
No, according to Chris, it's a wonder of the world, a giant columnless space that's like hundreds of thousands of square feet and should be really spectacular. And of course, with a Boring Company tunnel of Teslas coming to it, I don't know how much cooler it could be.
Yeah, it's already underway and counting down to being completed. So kind of exciting.
Karen Chupka, Executive Vice President, CES, part of the Consumer Technology's massive effort to bring consumer technology to everyone in the world. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Shelly, and see you soon.
So Ross and I are going to be at CES, which is January 7th through the 11th, 2020 in Las Vegas. If you're going, please visit ces.shellypalmer.com. That's ces.shellypalmer.com to learn about our tech briefings and floor tours, and also to request an invitation to the Innovation Series Summit, where you'll meet leaders in technology, media, marketing, and entertainment. We're planning an incredible lineup of speakers and presentations, including Ross and me, by the way. So visit ces.shellypalmer.com for more info. That's ces.shellypalmer.com.
So, Shelly, I'm driving in Los Angeles, which, by the way, like, why did I even rent a car and not just use a car?
Seriously.
We normally do the car service, especially in LA. But I had to take a long drive, so I was driving to see Dash's basketball game. And I had a Tesla at one point on my left and a Tesla on my right.
Teslas are very popular in California.
Now, the Tesla on my right had a businessman driving the car. It looked like he was enjoying his car. I looked at him and I was like, well, maybe I should get a Tesla one day if I can afford it. On the
Ross,
left,
you can afford a Tesla.
On the left, I see another guy in his Tesla. And I look over at him and I notice that he's positioned kind of awkwardly in his car.
What do you mean?
What I mean was that he wasn't freaking driving. He was like laying back. And when I looked closer, he was sleeping.
Wow.
And I'm not talking about in the right lane, the slow lane. I'm talking about the left lane.
But doesn't a Tesla slow down if you take your hands off the wheel and fall asleep? That's the sort of safety mechanism.
This is exactly right. If you stop touching the steering wheel,
right.
It just slows down and eventually pulls over.
Yeah.
Okay. But he was going 75 miles per hour.
How?
Sleeping. I'll tell you how. His hands were on the steering wheel, up, right? In a position that looked kind of uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But his arms were, I guess you could say, at rest. Like his arms were like sagging down, but his hands were still on the wheel. And it looked like they were stuck on the wheel using what I can only imagine is Velcro. So I went and looked it up. And you could actually buy a Velcro situation for your Tesla.
No.
Yeah.
No, let's do that right now.
Sleep.
Let's go online right now. Right now.
I'm just thinking, you and I have talked about doing an episode on attention.
No way. Look at oh my God, Ross, this.
Yes.
Well, $49 and you can kill yourself.
You can, for $49 right here on this site, you can buy gloves that allow you to trick your Tesla into thinking you're awake.
Holding the wheel.
And you're driving, but you're sleeping like this guy was. He was going 75 miles per hour, sleeping.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well,
on the 405.
First of all, the idea that you can even go 75 miles an hour on the 405 is awesome. So it must have been a great time of day.
It was a good time of day.
It must have been a good time of day.
Usually there's traffic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
so we are going to do an episode on how to get attention, how to pay attention, how to earn attention. And I just feel like this confirmed that we have to do that episode because you do not have to pay attention when you're driving 75 miles per hour.
Driving used to be a high focus thing. Now it's a low focus thing. That's terrifying.
Think about that.
So Shelly, I was taking a walk earlier today here in Maine, and I came across a pig loo.
Excuse me?
Yeah, pig loo. It's like a pig igloo.
Uh-huh. And how, Ross, do you make a pig loo?
I don't make one. Pigs make one. That's the whole point. So pigs, It was believed that pigs could not survive in freezing temperatures before, but now they can, it seems. And they're infiltrating up here, up north. They're in our hood. They're moving in. I mean, it's like a pig invasion. And some people up here are blaming Canada because
I blame Canada for everything, so I get that.
Yeah. So, but people believed that pigs would get hypothermia if the temperature reached freezing or below. But now, and it is true that when they're cold, pigs shiver, right? And
do they grow fur?
They do.
Really? I was making that up.
So they do. And, we could start a band called the Shivering Pigs if you want. But there are pig loos on my property here in Maine. There's a pig loo. There's pigs living in a neighborhood.
And I can't believe you haven't invited me up to see them.
Yeah, because you'd want to turn them into like roast pork. And you'd like...
Everything's better with bacon, Ross. That's just the truth.
Uh-huh.
Bacon! Where's the bacon? I smell bacon!
No bacon for me either, Ross. Before we get out of Dodge for the year and decade, please leave a 5-star rating at Apple Podcasts, a quick comment or review even better, and thank you for downloading and subscribing to Think About This with Shelly Palmer and Ross Martin. If you think you know less than you did before, just wait until 2020 on the Westwood One Podcast Network.